Welcome to Conversations with Asha and Steve, where communication matters. Join us as we discuss effective ways to communicate, bridge the gaps, and build long-lasting relationships within your business and life. Here are your hosts, Asha Prasad and Steve Harper.
Hey, Asha, how's it going?
Hey, Steve. Good. How are you?
I am fantastic. I hope we're recording. Okay, we are recording only. It said live. I wasn't sure if we
I know.
were
I
just
was like,
now.
oh my gosh, we're live. Okay. Well, if we are, we are.
Yeah. We shall see. Well, for those of you watching and listening, welcome to another episode of Conversations with Asha and Steve. I am Steve Harper, and with me is always my awesome and most beautiful co-host, who's a little bit warm today, apparently, Dr. Asha Prasad.
Yes, it is. It's as if I'm in an oven right now over here. We don't believe in air conditioning, apparently, or central air does. It does exist. I know it does, but
You've yet to discover it or find it?
Exactly. I'm on the waiting list.
How hot is it right now?
Well, inside the house, it's 87 degrees. Outside, it's about 94.
Oh.
And mind you, it's 70% humidity. Like, I have the dehumidifier on. If you hear anything, sorry, cannot deal without it because I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, it's really hot. Hot.
Yeah, sorry about that. Well, I mean, I live in Texas, so, it's hot all the time here.
I know, but you know what the thing is, Steve? And that was one of the things that I realized when I moved over here, too, is at least, like, we have central air over there, and also you can get a break from it. And you don't have, like, the hot, I mean, you have humidity, but the way the houses and buildings are built are not like they are here. It just stays inside. So, but, I guess it's good for losing weight, right? Because it's like a sauna. I don't know. I'll let you know if that happens or not. I doubt it. But
if it does, let me know because I may try that.
Just shut off the air conditioning. Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
My wife already hates it, because I can't sleep when it's warm. I just can't. And I have to keep it cold in the house. So I don't know what you would be dealing with at night. Oh, I'm
telling you, I literally sleep with ice packs. I'm not kidding you. It's ridiculous. You would think that I had like all these injuries or something because I've got an ice pack in my pillow. And, I do the whole thing. I'm like, I don't care.
So, they make – I have always wondered, and there might be somebody who's come up with this idea, but I always wondered why they've come up with heating blankets, right? Electric blankets. Why can't they come up with cool blankets? I don't understand that.
I don't know, but you know what? They do have – like I have a Chillo. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually works really well. But
really?
I was thinking the same thing. Why couldn't they make that into like a huge blanket? That would just, that would be cool. That's a good invention. Well, anybody out there, please do it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a good segue to what we're talking about today. So this is our lightning round episode. So we're recording this. So we're not live today, but this will go up on a future Friday. And we're talking today about the Entrepreneurship Hustle, right?
Yes.
There's an idea for somebody out there.
There you go. Exactly.
We figure out how to put the muscle behind the hustle. There you go. We just gave you the idea. We just want our 10% when you do become a billionaire.
Exactly.
Because we already know 2 people right now who will order from you if you come up with this blanket.
Absolutely. Gosh, the market is just endless. But
yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of hot people out there.
Yes, they are.
So, as we move into this topic for today's conversation, what does the entrepreneur hustle mean to you? I know you have several things that you do in addition to your health practice, and so you get it, you understand it. So what is it? But what do you think it means to someone who's like, what is the entrepreneurship hustle?
Yeah, I mean, you know what, Steve? I think it's about doing anything it takes to like execute your business. I mean, you know what I mean? Like really, you've got to be able to wear different hats. You've got to be able to really like multiple hats. I don't know, like you probably have to have 3 heads too, but you know what I mean? So it's like, I think that's to me is the entrepreneurship hustle because you just got to be willing to do things and not be afraid to take risk and And just, one thing that I was having a conversation recently with someone about the fact that when you're doing multiple things, how do you find the time to do it? How do you get through it? But it's one of those things. It's kind of, I realized when I was explaining it to him, I said, you know what? It's as if as an entrepreneur, we don't really see limitations. We don't really see also limitations with, time. Yeah. And sometimes that can be a good thing. And sometimes we need to say stop, that's what the bad thing. I think
you're looking at me when you say that. Actually.
I am looking at you, but I'm also looking at me. So it's but what does it mean to you, Steve? Well,
there's a lot of folks that are out there. You see it on social media that are talking about the grind. I talk about, entrepreneurs like Gary Vee, Tim's, oh my gosh. I forgot the guy's name. I can't believe I forgot his name. Tim Ferriss. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. They've got multiple things going on. They talk about entrepreneurship. They talk about the importance of having that hustle because you have to have that drive. You have to have that commitment and that you're constantly looking for the next thing. And I think good entrepreneurs like us, right? I term us serial entrepreneurs because we have multiple things going at multiple times, yet we're able to control and manage all these balls that we have in the air. And I think that's key. I think it takes a lot of hustle and effort for you to get a idea from ideation into actual reality, whether it's a product or service. And I think that hustle is really essential, right? So entrepreneurship, business ownership in general is not for the faint at heart, right? You have to, you're living this 24/7 if you're going to make it really work and be successful at it. And so I think that for me, it's 100% commitment. It's all in for whatever idea or multiple ideas that you may have going on. But you've got to be able to master one before you move on to the other. And so I think from the perspective of like what Gary Vaynerchuk talks about, you're living it. You're in it 100%. Yeah. It's constantly on top of your mind. You're trying to look for ways to improve your product or your service. Yeah. And you're constantly out there looking for opportunities to have conversations about what you do. And so it isn't a typical 9-to-5 job. It's a, it's a 24/7, 365, right?
It is. But one thing I do want to say about that, Steve, is that one of the things that I think happens a lot, and I've talked to many of my own clients, my own coaching clients about this, is when do you get a chance to take a break from the hustle? You can still execute the hustle, but you've got to take some breaks. You've got to have balance in your life because otherwise you'll burn out real quick. I mean, I see this all the time and it's very easy to do it. It's very, very easy to do it.
Again, are you looking at me?
Looking at both of us. I mean, Steve, we've both been there. I mean, and it's really, I always say if you're not well and if you're not in balance, your business won't be in balance. Yeah. So yes, it is about hustling, but it's also, I think that's part of it too. Empowering people, finding other people that can help you to really grow your team a lot stronger, which I think, Steve, you definitely, because of your different businesses, I mean, you have been able to really do that. You've built some strong teams to be able to help you. So that way, whenever it is time to take a time out, things can still go and things can still operate without you having to be there.
Yeah. And I think that's the key, right? I mean, I think you have to, you have to hustle just enough to get to that point where you're ready to scale. And then when you scale, you're really looking for the right people to hire, the right individuals that are going to be committed to the business just as much as you are. And building that out, I think, is part of what I love about entrepreneurship is that creation and the building process. And then sort of setting it free if you can to a certain degree to let it run on its own while you go and work on or focus on other things. I know there are people out there that interpret that sometimes negatively because they think, well, can't you focus on one thing, or how can you be good at all three? You're chasing multiple rabbits. And as well as I do for our coaching clients, we're always telling people to focus. And so it seems like, we're not following our own advice when we're working on multiple ventures at one time. But I do think that, good entrepreneurs figure it out really, pretty quickly, how they're going to get to that point where they can say, okay, now I can release this thing into the world. I've got the team to back it up and to support it. I'm not necessarily stepping back from it, but doesn't mean that I have to be in it continually, right? I'm on to the next venture, the next thing. And so when we talk about, entrepreneurship hustle, I think that's a big factor is not only just the creation of the idea and getting it out there and talking to anybody and everybody that'll listen to you about it, but it's also trying to build that foundation so that you can eventually see that thing operate on its own. Because you look at different aspects of entrepreneurship. The thing that's exciting to me is trying to find multiple ways to get cash flow into you as the entrepreneur, right? And to return on that investment, that idea, that effort. And if you can have multiple, businesses that are paying you, that's the thing that I love about it, right? I think that's the most exciting aspect.
It is, you know what? And I think that that's one of those things that being open to and knowing that it is going to take some hustle to get into the flow of that. But once you realize kind of like the common denominator of whatever your services are, or whatever your product is, it becomes a lot easier to execute on those things.
Absolutely.
So,
So, as we look to wrap this up, lightning conversations that we have, these lightning round conversations that we have are replacements for our live streams when Asha and I are traveling for business or we've got other commitments on Fridays. We like to do these episodes because we want to keep those conversations going and continue to, put good content out there for your consumption. So if you happen to be listening to this on the podcast or you happen to be watching on YouTube, we want to know what you think of entrepreneurship as, hustle. How have you experienced it? What have you seen? If you haven't actually gone into and created your own business, what would be an idea or a business that you would love to start? And maybe you just need some suggestions, right, on how to get going. And Dr. Asha and myself would be happy to help you and guide you and direct you in that capacity, because we've run and built multiple businesses and have been successful at it. So it's our jam, right, Asha?
Exactly, it is our jam. And I'm telling you, I hope somebody's inspired to make that cool blanket, because I'm like,
she will pre-order it today.
I will pre-order today. Contact us.
I mean, you won't even need you won't even need to do like a Kickstarter or anything.
No.
Dr. Asha will probably help fund that sucker now.
Yes, right now.
Well, Asha, tell everybody how they can get a hold of us in the future, maybe to share some ideas that they'd like us to have in terms of future conversations.
Yeah. So definitely the best way to contact us is either through our website, conversationwithashaandsteve.com, or through any social media, Facebook, Instagram. Just message us on there. And we'd love to hear from you and see how we can help you better. I mean, people are always asking us different questions, and we're, coming on here and sharing with you guys, and we love to do that. So you can reach out to us on any of those platforms.
Absolutely. And to find Dr. Asha Prasad, you can go to the Prasad Method. She's got amazing content information about all the services that she offers. I highly recommend you check out her website. And for me, go to ripplecentral.com to learn a little bit more about the Ripple and the Ripple movement. And, we'd love to, continue to have these, have you join us in those two websites and start conversations with us there. But obviously drop us, as Asha said, drop us a line at conversationswithashaandsteve.com or on our Facebook group to let us know what you think of this episode, these lightning rounds, and perhaps what you'd like us to cover in a future episode. We'd love to hear from you. So we'll be back with a new episode very, very soon. And until then, Asha, take care.
Thanks. You too, Steve.
Hope you get air conditioning.
Yes. Thank you. I hope this year.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode of Conversations with Asha and Steve. We love to hear feedback and questions from our listeners. Please feel free to visit our Facebook page for more tips and information. You can also email us directly at info@ripplecentral.com for more information.